everybody, welcome to UNSW ADA. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you to Arts, Design and Architecture, and I welcome you from wherever you're joining us today, whether that's here somewhere on the UNSW campus, whether it's back in your bedroom, whether it's somewhere overseas. You're really, really welcome to UNSW ADA. My name's Claire Annesley. I am the Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture. And I'm here today to welcome you and to introduce you to a number of students and colleagues who are going to tell you a little bit about the faculty. Before I go any further, though, with this welcome, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands from which I'm joining you today. These are the lands on which I work and you will study, and here in Kensington, that is the land of the Bedegal people of the Eora Nation. I would like to pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who are joining this meeting today. So, over the next hour, the plan is that we are going to welcome you to the Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture. You will hear from some of our staff. We have Jordan here as a student who is going to help us let you know a little bit more about the faculty that you are now a member of, and we will have plenty of questions at the end to answer, plenty of time at the end to answer any questions that you might have. So remember to post your questions using the QR code. So in this hour, you're going to hopefully get a sense of the real excellent educational experience that you are up for over the next few years. The learning experiences you have, what we have on offer in terms of our physical environment, our digital environment, and you will hear a little bit more firsthand from students. You'll be able to get some advice on what to do in your first week or in your first weeks here, how to make the most of your time with us here at UNSW, how to make friends, how to get support, and much, much more. So that's the plan for the next hour. There's so much that we could tell you. I thought I might kind of go back to basics and tell you some of the kind of the key facts about who we are as a faculty. ADA, Arts, Design and Architecture, is a really rich and diverse faculty. And at the core of the faculty are 6 schools. The 6 schools are the School of Art and Design, the School of Arts and Media, the School of Built Environment, School of Education, School of Humanities and Languages, and the School of Social Sciences. So that's the schools. Our schools, or ADA as a whole, is spread across 2 different campuses. And what I would really, really encourage you to do is approach this faculty and the 2 campuses and everything that we have on offer as your new home. This is your new neighbourhood to explore, and I encourage you to really get out there and explore it as much as you possibly can. If you can't do that physically, if you can't be here in person, please do that online, and then we look forward to welcoming you onto campus in the very, very near future. So ADA is spread across 2 different campuses. One is in Kensington and one is in Paddington, and they're really conveniently connected by a shuttle bus that runs between the 2 sites. On both of our campuses, on each of our campuses, we have incredible facilities. So I can't tell you all about it now, but this is what I really encourage you to explore. We have, for example, the Esme Timbury Creative Practice Lab. We have Design Futures Lab here on the Kensington campus. We have maker spaces. We have UNSW galleries. We have multiple research centres, studios, labs and institutes spread across our faculty. And also, last year in 2021, when a lot of our time was spent in lockdown and we couldn't come to campus, we used that time to upgrade a lot of these facilities and to add some really great study spaces and hangout spaces for students. So those will be ready for you as you start your studies. So on our, I'm currently on our Kensington campus. This is where I am now. And then we also have our Paddington campus, which is the home to the School of Art and Design and also UNSW galleries. So that is your new neighbourhood. I think this is a really exciting time for anybody who is starting university new. When I move to a new town or a new country even, or start a new job, start a new school, start a new university, I think the most exciting thing you can possibly do is explore your new neighbourhood, get to know all the cool places to hang out in, and to learn about the different people who are in your neighbourhood and how you can make the most of what is available to you. So our faculty is a very diverse faculty, but our vision is one of unity. Our vision statement for the Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture is that through creativity, collaboration and inclusion, we seek and solve problems to improve life on Earth. And that is what kind of guides everything that we do. Our mission statement for the faculty is that we listen, challenge, create and share diverse knowledge about people, place and cultures to enable lives with purpose. And you are part now of that vision and mission for the Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture. And our vision and mission fit very neatly within UNSW's broader motto of knowledge through hand, mind and heart. So let me take you through what each of those components means to us. For mind, what does this mean? This means that in the Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture, we have real confidence in the power of ideas and diverse approaches to how we learn about the world that we are living in, the people that are in places and cultures within our world, and how we can explore problems that emerge in our societies from a number of different perspectives. Mind, our emphasis on mind and the power of ideas, relates to an environment that really supports academic excellence in our faculty. You'll find now that you come to university that you are going to be challenged every day. You will come across ideas and people's ideas, things that you never even thought about. And that challenge is part of the most exciting thing that happens at university. But for me, the kind of flip side of that bargain is that when you, our kind of newest students, join the faculty, we get to learn from you. We get to learn from the diverse perspectives that you bring into the university. And we do. We're challenged and we learn from you every day. And so we encourage you to bring your perspectives to UNSW, as well as learning from ours. The second bit of our motto is hand. And this relates to how you will accumulate professional skills for the future. UNSW and ADA really have a pioneering spirit of problem solving alongside and with industry, with government and with community partners. In our faculty, we have a robust work integrated learning program or professional learning program, which gives you opportunities like within the classroom and outside of the classroom to gain the skills that you need for your professional future. The great news is that we in ADA specialise in the skills that employers today really value: creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, problem solving. entrepreneurship and innovation. These are all skills that you will accumulate along the way. And this is why our graduates are really well set up for getting amazing jobs when you finish university, even though that will probably not be the first thing on your mind right now. So innovation's really important to us, and in ADA we set up last year an innovation hub. This is our problem-solving space where we bring diverse teams together to work on problems that we have identified that need to be solved. It's not a physical place. You won't see a sign to the innovation hub. It's a space, it's a way of working, it's a state of mind. And across this year 22, we are going to be putting calls out for students to get involved in our Innovation Hub project. So I encourage you to look out for that Innovation Hub. The third part of our motto is heart, and I instinctively did that. The heart bit of our motto relates to the fact that we're a supportive community, really making a difference, not just within the university, but outside as well. Our faculty is a diverse community and it's a supportive culture, and it makes it a vibrant and yet safe place to study in. I work every fortnight. I meet every fortnight with my shadow board. That's a group of students who advise me what it's like to be a student in the faculty. And I'm also advised by Winangala Guru Guruba, which is the shadow voice or the voice of Indigenous students in ADA as well. So hearing from students, learning from you, and understanding how to make you feel as safe, as supported as possible really matters to us. We're an open and inclusive campus. And we're also here to help. You'll hear later from Tenny, who is our ADA Student Experience Manager, and she's going to walk you through the resources and the support that is available to you in ADA. We're here to help. We're here to help you find your way. My most kind of pressing piece of advice to you in the first weeks at university is, if you don't know, please ask somebody, and there will be people at hand to help you find your way if you get a little bit lost. So that is ADA. We are a creative, vibrant, open and inclusive faculty. We're here. What you'll find is a welcoming community. You're going to spend the next few weeks and months and years building lifelong relationships with friends and your colleagues and academic teaching staff who will help you thrive personally and also professionally. So, welcome. I am so happy that you are joining our community, and I wish you all the best for the next few weeks and months and years on your journey with us here in UNSW Arts, Design and Architecture. What I'd like to do now is introduce you to Professor Kath Ellis. Kath is our Associate Dean Education, and she is going to share a little bit about you, about what you can expect from your learning journey at UNSW. So Kath, can I please welcome you up on stage?
Thanks, Claire. Thanks for the introduction, and hi to all of you. Big warm welcome to you, whether you're joining us here on campus today, it's a rainy day, whether you are joining us online or watching this recording later, it's a big warm welcome. And I add my welcome to Claire's welcome to you, to the Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture. My name's Kath Ellis, and I'm the Associate Dean for Education here in the faculty, your faculty. My responsibility is making sure that everybody who comes to study with us has a fantastic experience. A lot of people think that when they see my job title, it's got the word education in it, that I'm just here for the Bachelor of Education students. I'm not. I'm here for all students to make sure you have a fantastic learning experience. And I want to congratulate you. You've been accepted into one of the world's best universities and one of the world's best faculties in the arts, design and architecture field. That is an amazing achievement. We're very proud of you, and I hope you're very proud of yourself. Now, coming and joining us here, you're going to be in a learning environment with some of the world's leading scholars, and they will challenge you. And that's exactly why you're coming here. It's one of the main reasons for coming to a university like UNSW and a faculty like ours, is that these leading scholars will be there to challenge you. But one of the things we ask is that you challenge us right back. You keep telling us about what it is that you need for your learning and let us know what's going to work best for you. As Claire said, we've got some of the best learning environments in the world. And it's not just the physical environments that she's talked to you about, there's also the online learning environments, both the asynchronous and the, at the same time, synchronous online learning environments that you'll be working with. But your learning journey isn't just about what you're going to be doing in the classroom. And as Claire said, you'll be hearing from Tierney in just a little bit. She is the Student Experience Manager in the faculty, and she's going to tell you a lot more about the opportunities outside the classroom. I'm going to focus now on the opportunities inside the classroom. Because learning here in our faculty is a multi-directional process. There's going to be lots of opportunities to learn inside your courses as well as outside your courses. Now, I imagine some of you might be feeling a little bit nervous. This is a big step to come to university, and it might make you feel a little bit, might be feeling a little bit nervous about how it is that you're going to approach, say, the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks. But I like to think about coming to university as a bit like learning a new skill, like learning to drive. And I remember about when I first learned to drive and I first sat behind the wheel of a car, I felt quite terrified even about the fact that I was about to be the person responsible for driving this vehicle. At the very beginning, I started out just learning to drive in a car park where it was empty. It was a Sunday afternoon. It was pretty safe. But after a while, I developed confidence and I could go out on the road with my instructor helping me. And before I knew it, I was driving with confidence. The key thing is I didn't go straight out onto a motorway at the very beginning. I made sure that I was carefully addressing the risk that I was facing with my learning to drive and just challenging myself gently as I moved into that. The same could be said from learning lots of other skills, but I encourage you to approach your learning at university with that same kind of mindset. Continuing to challenge yourself, taking those little risks, but doing so in a safe way. So that's one way to have a think about what you're about to approach in your learning. Now, learning at university will take time and effort. We're here alongside you on that journey. It's a partnership between us and you. It's a bit like, I guess, going to the gym. We're there to help you, but you need to come and join us and do your workouts, do your exercises, and be a part of our community. But as Claire said, you're not alone in this journey. There's a lot of support, both inside your classes and inside your courses and outside your courses, to make sure that you get the best possible learning experience and the best outcomes for your program of study while you're with us. So be curious, seek out those challenging questions, explore, and as Claire said, if you're not sure, ask. There'll be lots of people who are really keen to help you. Now, my final piece of advice to you today is about values. You are joining our academic community, and we couldn't be happier. Our community, though, has values that we hold very dear, which include inclusivity, excellence, and integrity. So by joining our academic community, we will be providing you with lots of support and guidance on how to learn with honesty and integrity, and in that inclusive way to reach that academic excellence. So the most important thing is for you to complete your degree and have a wonderful experience with us, and to get the knowledge and the skills that will set you up for life with whatever it is that you want to achieve. And we're really looking forward to you joining our community, joining us as partners in your learning journey. And now what I'd like to do is introduce our Manager of Student Experience, Tierney Mary, to speak to you about shaping your experience.
Hello and welcome. My name is Tierney Mare and my pronouns are she and her, and thank you, Kath, for that lovely introduction. I'm the Manager for Student Experience at UNSW ADA, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be part of such a dynamic, engaging and fun faculty here. I'm really privileged to be able to support a wide range of students such as yourselves. And I think starting off at university, those first few weeks and days, whether you're joining us as a brand new student straight out of high school or whether you've taken a few different roads to get here with us today, welcome, and we're so excited to have you with us. I also happen to be a PhD student in ADA, and one of the elements of my work that I like the best is the chance to walk between the student experience and the staff experience here. I feel like it's really wonderful to be able to see things from multiple different perspectives, which is something you've heard a lot about today already. Most of all, I want to talk to you today about student experience. Now, experience, you've heard that word quite a few times already today. But what does it actually mean? Experience can be defined as an event or an occurrence which leaves an impression upon someone. And I'd like you just to sit and think about that word impression and what it feels like to have something move or shape you in a certain way. You probably have already had that experience today, like Kath said, whether you're joining us in a bit of a wet campus or from the comfort of your own home. I thought to speak to you today, I'd start with 3 university experiences that left an impression on me. The first was the moment as an undergraduate student when I sat in a lecture and had some of the key ways I thought about the world challenged and upended. And I thought, wow, this is amazing and uncomfortable and exciting, and I really want to know more. That aha moment, that exhilarating moment, I know that you will find in your studies here with us. It might mean trying something new, stepping out of your lane, taking a course that maybe wasn't on your radar in the first place. So I'd encourage you to seek out those opportunities, because that moment of learning where you really start to discover all the world around you is priceless. Now, the second experience that left an impression on me was when I really quite spectacularly failed my first exam at university in a subject I actually felt pretty comfortable with and confident. I was not happy. I was really stressed. I felt like all the fears that I had about not being good enough or smart enough to be in my degree had just come to life all in this one moment, and it didn't help that it was my very first exam. It was a Spanish exam, and I went to my tutor and I thought I should drop out because I wasn't doing very well. And he looked at me and said, "Why would you do that? You're not going to learn anything then." And it was really fantastic advice, even though I probably only appreciated it later. 2 years later, precisely, when I was living abroad in Madrid, speaking in Spanish with my host family and having the experience of a lifetime. It may be the case that you also have a similar experience at university which leaves maybe a less than favourable impression on you, but one that you actually really grow and learn from. I'm really glad that happened to me because it also helped me learn where I should seek help and resources at the university, which is something you can hear a bit more about in a minute. I failed that exam because I didn't know what a course outline was and I didn't know how to read it. So that's my one top tip for you today. Read the resources that you have and use what you have at your disposal here, because as Kath and Claire both mentioned, we're really here to help. My final experience that really left an impression on me, and I'm cheating a little here, is the constellation of moments I've witnessed as a staff member when a student maybe makes a lifelong friend for the first time, when they enter a course and they have that moment of pure joy and excitement, when maybe I walk through the main walkway of UNSW and see it alive and vibrant, or when we see our students logging on from all over the world and learning and making connections with one another. Those also leave an impression on me because I hope that they leave an impression on you. University study is many things, but above all, it is an experience. And yours may be different to the other people in your courses and your classes, but the one thing you have in common with everyone today is that you're starting something new. And I think that really needs to be acknowledged. Starting new things can be difficult and exciting. And you'll hear from our student Jordan later just about some of the ways that he and others can navigate starting a new degree at UNSW ADA. As you journey with us, you'll find yourself exposed to new ideas, people, ways of thinking and being in the world. You'll learn new things about yourself as well, and also be able to think critically about some of the world's most fascinating structures, systems, and problems. But my team's fundamental commitment to you is to give you the best student experience we possibly can. And some of our core commitments are around inclusion, through our dedication to equity, diversity, and inclusion, to make your experience relevant as we build an experience that works for you, and to be adaptive, to allow you the space to grow over your years with us. And most of all, also to have fun, because that's the best part of the university experience after all, right? We work behind the scenes, my team, and front of stage to deliver you initiatives and programs both inside the classroom and outside the classroom. Now, Kath's spoken a little bit about the inside the classroom moments, so I wanted to highlight some of the other initiatives that we have running this year for you to be aware of. We have our brand new ADA Student Experience website, which you can access through the QR code here, and that has a whole host of resources to support you as you navigate your way through your undergraduate degree, find out more about clubs and societies and different support services at UNSW. We also are running welcome and check-in calls throughout the year so that you have a chance to ask questions and connect with other peers, as well as for us to see how you're going. Because the most important thing is for us to build an experience around your feedback and what you're really desiring. And so we listen very closely and we take that all on board. We deliver resources and training to ensure that our educational environments are as inclusive and accessible as possible. And we also have a great lineup of events, including scavenger hunts, merch giveaways, random acts of kindness, and more for the year ahead, both in person and online. My biggest piece of advice to you today is not dissimilar from Kath's or Claire's. It's to be curious, to be open-minded, and to be proactive. There are endless opportunities and support here for you. You just need to be willing to ask, explore, and most importantly, to try. I would now like to invite our student speaker, Jordan, to the stage, who's going to share a little bit about his journey in ADA and some tips for you.
Good afternoon to all students and staff in attendance today. My name is Jordan Atoya and I'm a proud Wiradjuri man from Narromine, New South Wales. And in 2022, I'm entering the third year of my degree, Social Research and Policy, majoring in Sociology and Anthropology. Today I'm here to talk to you about my experiences with the Arts, Design and Architecture faculty and adjusting to the new norm, which is university life. As you have probably been told or heard by now, university is no small feat, and being able to attend such a great university as UNSW within the ADA faculty with the wide range of support and resources available at your fingertips is a blessing within itself, or at least it is for me. In your first few weeks of classes, once the thrill of O Week has worn off, may be daunting and you may feel completely different once the dust settles. But just know you're not alone. There are hundreds of other students in the exact same boat. In a sense, starting university is like starting a new life or a new chapter. You may feel alone or isolated, but that is all a part of adjusting to this new adventure in your life. For me, coming to university was the biggest thing to happen in my life, and I never thought I would be in this position, nor be able to share it with everyone tuning in today. When I came to university, I knew close to nobody, and only 2 weeks in, I started to think I was not built for university life, but I was wrong. As weeks went on, I started to make friends around campus, in colleges, and started connecting with people in my classes. I now realise that it was all part of moulding into this new, mature version of myself, which is the person speaking to you right now. For me, some advice which helped me adjust and still helps keep my studies and priorities in line were, firstly, networking. Take every opportunity to meet people and expand your network. Create connections in every possible field and create an image to people. A well-presented university student with a large network is always a great look, so do not be afraid to introduce yourself at every possible opportunity. Secondly, keep on track of your study. Before the start of week 1, your classes should be accessible via Moodle. It is always beneficial to browse your course content and, more importantly, the content for week 1, so you have an understanding and are not going in blind. By ensuring that you keep on top of your studies, your stress levels should stay low and give you more opportunities to succeed in assignments and exams. While they say university is the best time of your life, it is important to keep your head down and work hard, because the harder you work, the more you can enjoy the more fun things to do around campus. And utilise the university's support and resources. These will come in handy at one time or another throughout your degree. There is always someone in the UNSW community who is willing to offer a hand in whatever issue you are facing. It is also very important to take your mental health seriously and put it first, always. While focusing on study, it is important to maintain your mental health and well-being by having something which will relax your body and mind, which will ultimately give you the best results. Find something which you enjoy away from uni and find time to fuel your body and mind. It is important to take a time out from study, because from experience, nothing good ever comes from stress. Personally, going into my 3rd year of university is daunting. To think that this time next year I will have a degree of my own. But then I think about how the last 3 years I have utilised the opportunities given to me by UNSW and more specifically the ADA faculty, and how these opportunities and resources are preparing me for the workforce with all the necessary skills and knowledge to excel in my chosen field. Although everything I've been saying may sound pretty scary to you, a first-year uni student starting your dream degree at a university as esteemed as UNSW. But don't be concerned. At the end of the day, the duration of your degree will be the best time of your life, I promise. You will have your ups and downs, and you may feel alone at times. But always remember, you're never alone. And it may sound cliche, but there is always light at the end of the tunnel. I'd now like to introduce Mitch from ARC, who is here to talk about social life at UNSW. Thank you.
And the crowd goes wild. Nice to meet all of you. My name is Mitch, and it's my absolute pleasure to be speaking to you guys today. Completely forgot about the mask. About the wonderful experience at UNSW that's available to you through your student organisation, ARC. And I always have a very warm and soft spot for ADA and the Faculty of Arts, because I'm a proud UNSW Arts alumni. Theatre and Performance Studies, shout out. Environmental Humanities, shout out. Was definitely, like, intellectually some of the best times of my life, and I think has set me up for so much success in the future as well. And no, they don't pay me to say that. I absolutely would say that regardless of what's happening. So, rather than tell you about it, I thought I'd show you. Before we get into the really juicy stuff, I thought I would set you guys a challenge. I know you're out on campus and you're also online, so it could be a little bit tricky to say hi to someone, but I'm instructing you now as the great ARC overlord to introduce yourself to someone. Find someone near you at one of the outdoor spaces, tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, I'm studying at ADA. What are you studying? It's such an easy introduction. It's going to set you up for success. And if you're online, you're going to have heaps of opportunities to meet people as well. So I want you to take this moment to jot down 3 conversation starters with someone. What's your major going to be? Where are you from? What hobbies do you have? Write those things down. I'll give you guys 20 seconds right now to introduce yourself to someone. And don't make this an awkward silence. Should I sing? Do, 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 do. Apparently it went really well for medicine, so art students way more well socialised. Don't tell them I said that. Oh, we're live. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. The first thing that I want to tell you all about is clubs and societies. At UNSW, we have 300 different clubs and societies. Everything you can possibly imagine, from the Chinese Students Association to the Debating Association to the Chinese Students Debating Association, literally everything you can possibly imagine. I believe the latest society to join the fold is the Hot Girl Summer Society, and they're all about empowering all UNSW students to be the best version of themselves they can be. So find them at O Week this week. And if we don't have what you're looking for, you can start your own club with your friends. We're always excited to meet new people and have new clubs on board. The next thing I want to tell you about is sport. Now, we all know a healthy body supports a healthy mind. So through ARC Sport, we have heaps of opportunities for you to get your body moving and for you to meet people and de-stress, whether that's social sport, out on the alumni lawn every afternoon, playing in one of our 39 sports clubs, or getting involved in nationals, which is a little bit more competitive. There are heaps of opportunities for you to get moving. We also have our community. Now at UNSW, we're a huge university, which means we are a community of communities. There's over 35 different projects and programs through ARC that you can get involved in, that you can give back to the community, that you can get involved, you can meet people, you can upskill, and just a few of them you might see on campus today or online today, which is the yellow shirts, an army of 180 amazing student volunteers, the green shirts, which is ARC Street Team, and you can spy them all over campus all year round as well. And some particular programs that we offer to students are under the banner of sustainability. Now, this is because we know that you guys are passionate about the environment, that you want to make a difference in the world around you. So we've got these dedicated programs that are out there to make sure that you can have a positive impact and be the change that you want to see in the world. The next thing that we do is Volunteers United. Volunteers United connects over 3,000 UNSW students with charities and not-for-profits all over Australia, all over New South Wales and all over Sydney. You can do virtual volunteering online, or you can volunteer in person. You can connect with things like Black Dog and Headspace. We can get you involved in bush regeneration, fun runs, a whole bunch of different opportunities. You can do it to meet people. You can do it to make a great impact. Whatever suits you, there's heaps of flexible opportunities through Volunteers United. This is the one that I think will interest a lot of art designs and architecture students, which is all of our creative opportunities. Now, we have heaps of opportunities over at Art and Design campus, but also on main campus and also online, where you can flex all of your creative muscles, whether that's through writing or making or collaborating, producing, editing, whatever suits you, whatever pool you want to dip your toes into when it comes to creativity, we've got an option for you. And I also wanted to strongly encourage you guys to head out to Art and Design campus on Thursday to meet the team, check out campus, go on a tour and familiarise yourself with the beautiful space out there as well. The next thing that Jordan actually touched upon, which I think is super important, is wellness. Now, we have a whole bunch of different programs through ARC that are dedicated to making sure that you can upskill in looking after yourself and also looking after others. And they can be drop-ins, they can be going up and speaking to our wellness warriors or being part of One Step Walking Group, or you can get involved in these programs directly and be a part of them yourself. And the last thing I wanted to flag is that at ARC we have this two words that we love to say, which is heaps more. It's very Australian, and it means that there are so many different opportunities for you to get involved, to get supported, and to have an amazing time at UNSW. We help students with ARC Legal and Advocacy and our newly created Food Hub program. It's a great way to get free food and free groceries if you're ever in need. We're always transforming campus with amazing events, whether they're in the Roundhouse or all over campus. You can check them out. And we also support the SRC, PGC and collectors on campus, which are essential for student advocacy and representation at UNSW and beyond. So, if you haven't already, join up to ARC now, get the sticker on your back of your student card, get your membership pack and get out there and have an amazing time. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, check us out on TikTok, and if you see me in my stupid broken arm on campus, please do say hello. Have a wonderful start to UNSW. I'm so excited for you, and thank you very much to ADA for having me.
Fantastic, Mitch. Thank you so very much. I really want to know now how you broke your arm, but you'll have to. I think there's probably a really good story there. We'll find that out a bit later. What we're going to do now is turn to a Q&A with all of the folks that you've heard from up until now. You have been feeding through your questions using the QR code. You still have an opportunity to add extra questions or upvote the questions that you most would like an answer for. We're going to go through some of those questions now, but please keep those questions going. So panel, I'm going to come across to you now. We have a number of different questions that have come up, and I'm going to, the question at the top is, what is ARC? Now, hopefully from Mitch's presentation, we think we all know what ARC is. There was a question as well about is there also an ARC presence on the Paddington campus? I saw that come up. So yes, there is. Mitch touched on that. And this Thursday, there are a lot of great opportunities for you to meet the ARC folk down there. There were some great questions that came up a bit earlier about how do I make friends on campus. And again, Mitch gave us some great tips to remind us how to just make those initial connections. There's also a question about how do I make friends if I'm studying online. Jordan, I'm going to throw these first questions about making friends to you, and Tierney, I might come to you later. What are your top tips for making those initial connections? And also over the last year, you know, when things have been online, how have you made friends or made connections online?
Well, as I started uni, it was all online, like started COVID 2020. The main way I did was just take the initiative, because it's all online. You're on Blackboard Collaborative or Zoom. Just send a message. Like, don't be scared. Like, everyone's in the same boat. You're all doing like the same or related degrees. Just don't be afraid to send that message. You're definitely going to get a reply. So don't be nervous about getting snobbed or something. Like, you're going to get a reply. And then organise something. Go to coffee, study sessions. There's so many facilities around UNSW to study together. So all these friends you can make online, just go and study. Go and do something which expands your friendship group at UNSW within your degree. I feel like that's the best way. Just reach out.
I think that's such a great tip. Tierney, what would you say?
Yeah, look, I would really echo what Jordan said about being proactive. I have a lot of students who are like, I really want to make a friend, but I'm so scared that I'm going to have to send the first message and they're going to think I'm weird, or that I've like gone and found them on Facebook. Honestly, usually people are just super relieved that they didn't have to do it first. Like Jordan said, like, people really want to make friends here. They want to connect. I think I'll speak a little bit more to the online experience. What happens if you're learning online and not based in Sydney or even Australia? How do you make that initial connection and then grow with it? I mean, Mitch gave some really great examples of different events and clubs and societies that you can join that run online events. But I also think your classroom is such an important social space. Go to your tutorials, participate, engage, discuss with your other students. You'll be doing group work. You, like Jordan said, yes, you can study in our beautiful facilities on campus, but you also have the world of technology at your fingertips. There's really cool devices and technology like FocusMate or even Zoom, where you can create little study groups online, and you could be studying from 4 different countries in the world all together. And I think more than anything, you lot starting the most technologically literate cohort we're ever going to have. So if anyone is going to make those really robust online communities, it will be you. I have no doubt.
I think that's really true. What I hear from students is that they are making connections in ways that I don't even know about. So you'll find your way. We've got some questions about the most popular question at the moment is how many UX are recommended each term? So how many units of credit are recommended each term? And I'm going to throw this question to you, Kath. What would be your advice here?
Okay, you've already started to decode it for us, Claire, which is really helpful. UOC stands for Units of Credit, and it's how we count the volume of learning in each one of the courses that you're doing. I'm just going to have a quick aside answer to this question, Claire. There's a lot of jargon that you're going to encounter in the next couple of days and weeks. Don't worry too much about it. Before you know it, you'll be one of the people who says UOC rather than UOC. There's a very divided opinion on that. The point is, you're going to get a lot of jargon and you're going to have a lot of things to figure out like this. But basically, every course that we offer, more or less, is 6 units of credit. So let's talk in terms of the number of courses you need to do each term rather than UOCs, because then we don't have to do too much maths in our head. Basically, you need to do 8 courses in the year over the 3 terms. So you can choose to do that as 3-3-2, 3-2-3, or 2-3-3 if you want to take a full-time study load. You can do as little as 6 courses a year and still be counted as full-time, but you won't complete in the shortest amount of time. If you're a part-time student, it's going to be less than that. Now, it's up to you to decide whether you want to start with the full load in your first term or ease yourself gradually or gracefully into your study and only start with 2. I generally recommend that if you intend to do the normal full-time study load, you start with 3 courses in your first term. You can drop a course within the first week without any penalty whatsoever. You do need to make sure you drop it formally. And that means you can go down to 2 in your first term to ease yourself gracefully into your study, right, Jordan?
Yeah, exactly. For me, I don't know if it's recommended, but in my first year, I started with 2, just to kind of ease myself in coming from like high school. It's such a different environment, but you find your feet quickly. But yeah, for me, 2 courses was the best way to kind of excel.
Yeah, that's great advice. Thanks, Jordan.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions that I'm going to lump together, which is about resources. So we have one question, which is how do you find out what resources you'll need for classes? And the example that's given here is fine art courses. There's another question, which is, are there textbooks that we need to purchase during our studies? So, Jordan, do you want, or Kath, whoever would like to kick off with this? Like, how would you
go about it,
Jordan?
Look at your courses on Moodle. Your course convener should post what textbooks you need, and then you can purchase them online or at the UNSW bookshop.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's just mainly just before the term starts, just looking at your Moodle, seeing what your course convener said you need, and then getting it before the term starts.
Perfect answer.
Jordan, can I just ask you to decode Moodle?
So Moodle is your class portal, so all your classes will appear on your Moodle. I don't think it stands for anything, does it?
It doesn't stand for anything. It's just a name.
No, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
So you should access your course convener should have uploaded your courses and the course material to your Moodle prior to week 1. So you access that, and that's where all your classes will be. That's all your course material will be. Sorry.
Perfect. Thank
Do
you.
you mind if I just add to the
for it.
textbook question? There's often a distinction, or textbooks or resources, between required and recommended resources. And I would really encourage you to ask your course convener whether they really think that all the recommended resources are necessary. We're conscious that not all of these are cheap, and so we actually have some really great support at UNSW and ADA to support you to access equitably the resources that you need. So for instance, if you're an art and design student, there's some great materials exchange and recycling program on campus at 2 different locations, and UNSW has a range of different funding opportunities for you, including a new student support fund for students in need that our team is launching next week. I'm also very partial to a second-hand resource purchased from another student or from the second-hand bookshop on campus or online. You just need to make sure that you don't need that exact same version because they can change a little from time to time. They're really great questions to ask in your first week of class.
Okay, thank you. We have another question, which is how does Moodle work? Is there anything else that we think we need to say about Moodle? Or Jordan, do you think you touched on that enough?
Did I miss anything? Or?
No, I don't think so. Moodle will become really clear to you in the next couple of weeks. It's basically your online course material, your online learning environment for each one of your courses. How it works, It works like all software works. It's an online platform. You log in and all of your information will be available for you.
Great. The question with the most likes at the moment is about placements. So the question is, could you tell us about placements? How do we get connected and partner with industries? So Kath, would you like to kick off?
I can
with
take that one. Every student in every one of our programs in ADA has the opportunity to do a work integrated learning course. And on some programs, it's a requirement that you do a placement or a practicum or a work integrated learning experience, such as all students on social work, all students on the Bachelor of Education, for instance. Now, the key thing is to find out very early on what opportunities are available to you, because some students have only 2 electives that you can use one of those as a world course, and you don't want to use those up with something else and then find down the track that you've missed that opportunity. So go and speak to your program convener in the first instance about the opportunities that are available for you to include a work integrated learning opportunity in your course if you're on a program that doesn't have it as a compulsory requirement. And then the key thing is to start finding out what connections you can make, whether you need to find your own placement or whether we have placements already available for you, and to plan when you're going to do it. I really recommend everybody take the opportunity that's available to them.
Okay, fantastic. There was a question, how do I access Paddington campus from Kensington? I'm just going to grab that one quickly because that's quite straightforward. There's a shuttle bus that goes between the Kensington campus and the Paddington campus and back, that runs on a really, really regular basis, and it goes from Gate 8. Is that Gate 8? And it's free. So even if you don't have any classes on the Paddington campus, jump on the bus at some point and go down and check out the Paddington campus.
Come and see the galleries, for sure.
Yeah, go and see the galleries. There are some new study spaces down there, so it's really, really great space to explore. Another quick one that we can tick off, where do I collect my ID card? Tinny, do you want to quickly grab that one?
Yeah, so if you're here at O Week, you'll see that there's a station set up at the library. We haven't mentioned the nucleus yet, which I think is now the great time to speak about the nucleus, which is essentially the student hub at UNSW. Some of you will be really familiar because you've already asked questions about enrolment or you've gone and picked up your ID card. If you would like, you can also go to Paddington campus. So if you're heading to Paddington on Thursday to check out all the activities, you can make sure that you can get your ID card there as well. And it's just a really great one to pick up during O Week, so you have it ready to roll. If there's any trouble with maybe a different name on your application or anything like that, the nucleus will be able to help that out. And then throughout your degree, I'd really recommend making sure that you are really familiar with the nucleus, are happy to ask questions. They're great because you can drop in person, or you can ask questions via a form or chat online. So there's lots of different ways that you can access that support. You don't necessarily have to be physically here.
Fantastic. There's a number of questions that I've seen flashing up about kit, like what equipment do I need to bring to class? What kind of device do I need for studying at university? What do I bring to lectures and tutorials? What should I bring on my first day? What advice or tips do any of you have for that? Jordan, can I start with you?
So firstly, to like lectures and tutorials, I think it's just whatever helps you take notes the best. Like it could be a pen and paper, could be a laptop, an iPad. It really just depends on personal preference. Just whatever you think will help you like take your best notes. But you definitely need, if possible, access to the internet to access your course material on Moodle. But yeah, besides that, whatever really just helps you, I think that's the best. Yeah.
One thing I could add is that we've got lots of fantastic learning spaces on campus that all have power outlets. So if you're worried about running out of charge, the Wi-Fi also has great reach all over campus. So there's lots of spaces where you can top up your charge, do some work and get really good Wi-Fi access as well.
Can I add for the online experience? And one other thing, if you're someone like me who doesn't always remember to charge their device perfectly, bring your charger with you to campus, because the charging ports are great, but you do actually need that laptop charger. For online, I really recommend finding a spot that feels like a study space for you. If you cannot study in bed, it would be preferable because you might fall asleep. And it's just also really nice to have your own little environment that's as quiet as possible, that you know is your learning space, and that maybe is free of distractions. So having all the social media up at the same time as you're trying to learn can be quite distracting. And so in terms of that, I would just recommend, seeing if you can stay focused on one thing. A lot of you are taking very different classes and ask about types of laptops. We get that question a lot. So for built environment, the answer is usually just a laptop with pretty good memory and a bit of oomph and power to it. It doesn't have to be a particular brand. It's sort of the most amount of power that sits within your price range. They don't stipulate that you must have a particular computer, and the same for any of those sort of art and design classes. I just think that's worth noting.
Yeah, great. Tips for those studying and working full-time. I think that's a really, really good and important question. Anyone on the panel, what would you... Kath, do you want to have a go at that one?
Yeah, you're asking a lot of yourself to study full-time and work full-time. You're in effect asking yourself to do 2 full-time jobs at the same time. That's really challenging. If you're studying full-time working full-time and studying part-time, a very different proposition. But just remember that remember we talked about 6 UOC before. Basically, for every 6 unit of credit course, you're expected to invest about 150 hours of effort for the entire course. That's attending classes, all of your extra reading, the assessment that you have to prepare, to do the very best you can. So that's the kind of time investment you should be prepared to make to every one of your courses to get the most out of your investment in your study time. So that's the sort of volume of learning. But to Jordan, what advice would you have for fitting your study around working commitments and working full time?
Well, for me, I also did, when I started uni, I did work full time and studied full time as well. And I found that way too stressful. If possible, cut your work down to part-time, and if possible, prioritize your study, because in the long run, that's what's going to be the most beneficial. Just think about your priorities rather than trying to do both at the same time. I think that's the best way to handle it.
Jordan, are there any questions on there that you would pick? Should we go for the top one?
I think we should. I want to
do it.
I really want to hear Jordan's answer for this top one.
So the question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much harder is uni than high school? Brackets, asking for a friend. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's all give this a go, because we've all been there, done that. How much harder do we think university is than high school? I think it's really hard to score. What I'm going to say is that when I made the switch from secondary school, I was in the UK, I studied in the UK, to university. I think for me, the hardest thing was really trying to understand the new language, the new, the new codes, the way that assessments were graded. It was just absolutely new and unfamiliar to me. And I think that's particularly the case if you're the first person in your family to go to university, and you might not have kind of picked up on some of those, some of that information as you've been growing up. And that is when it's really, really important just to ask the question. So I would say mostly switching to university was amazing. That was for me really the hardest bit. So I'm going to score it about 3.
Okay, I'm going to jump in and say that it was a bit like just moving to the next grade at school in terms of the challenge of the content. And we wouldn't do anything else to you. Why else would we make it so impossible to make the journey from high school to uni? So generally speaking, don't worry too much about that. We expect you to challenge and stretch yourself, but to take that next step up in your learning journey. and be prepared to challenge yourself. But I agree with Claire, it's about moving on to that new environment was probably the most stressful.
What's your score, Kath? Scale of 1 to 10.
I'm going to give it a 3 as well,
Okay.
I think. It's not that much of a leap, but the key thing that I felt when I moved was now it was for me. I wasn't my big sister's little sister anymore. I wasn't doing it for my parents. It was for me. And I took ownership of my learning when I moved to uni in a way that I never did at school.
Yeah.
So that was the big change for me.
Okay, we're going to go to Tinian. We're going to come to you last, Jordan.
I'm holding him last.
I'm going to disagree a little with what has been said, but I'm going to add some nuance like Claire did. I did find the transition from high school to university difficult in the sense that I found the volume of independent learning and learning how to read and write, read all these academic articles and write at a university level. It just took me a really long time at the beginning to read one article, for instance. By the end, quite speedy. I like studying. I am doing a PhD, but like when I started at uni, I was really like, oh, this is taking me so much longer than everyone else. You get faster. And the other point I'd make is, like Kath, I suddenly was doing a degree that I wanted to do and was exciting. And don't spend your time. We'd love nothing more for you to stay in your program with us forever. But the most important thing is that you're studying what thrills you. So I think that's an important point to make. So I actually would give it a 6, would be mine.
Okay, all right.
6 to 7.
Jordan, before I come to you, I'm just going to say something quickly here, which is that if after a few weeks you kind of get a sense, this isn't right for me. I've now heard my friends are doing this, or I didn't know that degree exists. If you get to a point where you think, actually, I might want to change your mind, come and talk to us, because transferring is always possible, and under certain circumstances. So please, if you feel like you get into it, you kind of think, no, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, please talk to us about transferring. Come on, Jordan, what's your score? On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is that shift from high school to uni?
I'll probably have to say it's a 4 because it's more, rather than high school where you have like 5 classes of completely different, you have maths, English. Uni, you're doing what you want to do. At the start of the term, you get to pick your classes. You normally pick classes which sound interesting to you, topics that sound interesting to you. So I feel like it's because it's more personalised. You feel it's an easier transition, like going from your high school where you're going maths to English, you're just doing your one channel. I feel like, so probably a 4.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, have we still got time for more questions?
I think we have time maybe for one more final question.
One more. We've covered a lot, haven't we? I feel like we're whizzing through these questions. So, where can I access a course outline? We're going to go for that one. Can I pick if I want to do an assessment or an exam?
Shall I grab that one?
Go for it.
Yeah, okay. So your course outline is, as I think Tierney explained, a really important document. And learning where they are, getting hold of them early in your course and learning how to read them is a really important part of learning how to be a student at uni. So you will find your course outline in the Moodle site. Download it, look through it, read it carefully, because it'll explain to you exactly what's required of you in the course, including, which is the next part of this question, the assessment requirements. Now, we use lots of different words for the same thing. We tend to talk about assessments, assignments, exams, essays. They broadly all fall under the one umbrella of assessment. It's how you show us the learning achievement you've made in the course and how we measure that learning achievement against the learning outcomes we're expecting you to demonstrate. And that can come in lots of different ways. It can come in things that you write, things that you do, such as performances or in-class presentations, things that you make, such as works of art, models. And it can also come in the form of exams, which are all held at the end of the term. Not every course in our faculty has an exam, and in fact, very few do. So just be careful about making sure you understand what all of these terminology is, but every course outline will explain to you how you are going to be assessed on your learning in that course. if the course has got an exam in it, sorry, you don't get to avoid that, but you may be able to choose courses that don't have exams if that's your preference, or do have exams if that is your preference.
Perfect, thank you very much. Well, that has brought us to the end of the Q&A session and to the end of this Welcome to Arts, Design and Architecture session today. So welcome again, we're all delighted that you're here. There might be a number of questions that we didn't get round to answering. We'll make sure that we do look through those and we'll provide some answers. Tini, we're going to put those on the Student Experience website.
Yeah, so when the recording of this session goes up and live, it will come with a document with answers to all the questions we answered today and the ones we didn't get to, as well as a few others that we know tend to come up in the first week or so.
All right. So thank you for joining us. Welcome, and we can't wait to meet you very, very soon. Thanks. Bye.